ning Kanadast, Põhja-Ameerika ühest suurimast energiaettevõttest OPG-st on meiega liitumas sealne uute tuumaprojektide arenduse asepresident Robin Manley. Robin, thank you for joining us at such an early hour for you.
Thank you very much to Caleb and the Fermi Energia team for the opportunity to tell you about Ontario Power Generation's plans for small modular reactors. First, let me tell you about what is Ontario Power Generation. We are Ontario's only publicly owned operator of electricity generation with over 100 years of service providing electricity to our customers. We have over 9,000 employees, and we currently produce about half of the electricity in the province of Ontario, and we are one of the low cost generator for electricity. We have a capacity of over 18,000 megawatts, which include 66 hydroelectric generating stations, 2 nuclear power plants with 10 reactors that we operate, 2 nuclear stations that are leased to Bruce Power, and we have several gas plants and also a solar facility. In addition, we have some hydroelectric plants that we operate in the United States. About a decade ago, Ontario Power Generation delivered the world's largest single climate change action to date by closing our coal plants, and we aim to continue to be a climate change leader by investing in and implementing carbon reductions and offsets to achieve net zero emissions as a company by 2040, and in addition, to be a leading energy innovation company advancing clean technologies and solutions to help the markets where we operate to achieve net zero carbon economies by 2050. Ontario Power Generation has considered many different options for how to reduce our carbon emissions. And we concluded that new nuclear power is going to be necessary, and in particular, that small modular reactors are one of the most important and effective tools that we can use. Ontario Power Generation has, the province of Ontario, has a need for more clean electricity. And a systems analysis shows that nuclear needs to be part of this mix. We have, sorry, I'm on the wrong slide here. We have gone through a process of identifying the need for additional economic growth in Ontario, jobs and GDP, and we want to leverage the nuclear supply chain and continue to exercise global leadership for Ontario to capture first mover benefits and export market opportunities. At our Darlington nuclear power plant, we have extra land where we have an approved environmental assessment and a license to build new nuclear reactors, that is SMRs. And we have a very strong project management team and nuclear operational expertise that we have developed over many years. We've identified that small modular reactors are simpler to build and operate than existing large nuclear power plants. And in Canada, we have a nuclear regulator, the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission, which has an international reputation as being a rigorous and strong regulator, but open to new ideas and new designs. So what we did over the last few years, starting in 2018 and in 2019, we scanned the marketplace and we identified about 150 new reactor technologies being developed. But some of them just weren't plausible. They weren't appropriate for Ontario or for our site. So we narrowed it down to a top 10 list. And in 2019, we studied those with medium or high technology readiness levels to meet our project objectives. In 2020, we invited 7 SMR developers to a due diligence process that we went through a much deeper review, including experts from other utilities, including Tennessee Valley Authority in the US. And we identified 4 technologies that warranted additional detailed work. We chose to actively work with 3 of them and monitor 1 other. And in 2021, we put together 11 assessment teams with these areas shown on the slide to assess all the different deliverables that we were requesting from the developers, to identify risks, mitigations, and opportunities in all these areas. And we went through a very rigorous process to question each of these developers in these many areas, put all of the answers in the material in front of challenge teams. We had a review board that made sure our process and our methodology was very robust and thorough. And we decided we had enough information to make a good decision on the best choice for Ontario Power Generation, our company, and for our site. We went through that process, as I say, in 2021, looking at 3 different developers, GE Hitachi. We looked at Terrestrial with its molten salt reactor, and we looked at X Energy with its high temperature gas reactor. We also gave a lot of consideration to NuScale as well as another alternative. And you may have heard that in December of 2021, we made an announcement that we will work with General Electric Hitachi to deploy a small modular reactor, the BWRX-300, at our Darlington site. We're very happy to have made that decision to be able to announce this first-of-a-kind project for Ontario and move forward. Soon we will be bringing in a constructor and an architect engineer company to work with GE Hitachi and ourselves on the project. Now, I should say that that's our main focus, an on-grid reactor about 300 megawatts at Darlington, but we are also working on a very small modular reactor, a micro-reactor, called Global First Power at a different site, which brings different opportunities. Okay, just trying to advance the next slide. So what about GE Hitachi and the BWRX-300? GE Hitachi is a world-leading company in designing nuclear reactors. This design, the BWRX-300, is designed to be cost competitive with other forms of electricity generation, and we believe it's the best fit for near-term deployment at our site and other locations where you need clean, reliable baseload generation. It's the 10th generation of GE Hitachi's proven reactor design, their simplest yet most advanced design since they began developing nuclear reactors in the 1950s. The reactor's innovative features include the use of natural circulation and passive cooling, which are designed to cool the fuel under all conditions without the need for any external power or external water supply for extended periods. We expect to get at least 60 years out of operation out of this plant, possibly more. And we expect, frankly, to build quite a few of them down the road. So moving forward, our goal is to build the first on-grid SMR on schedule and on budget as early as 2028 to leverage our experience and our people with our experience in nuclear operations, major refurbishment projects, and our existing nuclear supply chain. And over the next year, we'll be beginning our site preparation activities. We will be submitting a license to construct application to the regulator, and we will be working with GE Hitachi and the constructor and the architect engineer on all of the planning activities. Now, I should say that we haven't absolutely finalized a timeline. Our goal is to be having the first reactor online by the end of 2028, but we will be firming up the schedule over the next couple of years, and we will be announcing an official schedule somewhere down the road. We're not at the point of having the official schedule at this time. Okay, people have asked, are we only building one of these? Right now, at this point, we have plans for one. We are focused on doing the first one right, on schedule and on budget, because that is the most important. Making sure that we can show people that you can do new nuclear reactors right. But it's anticipated that we are going to need a lot of additional clean electricity in Ontario. So we're imagining to be building about 4 reactors at our Darlington site and more elsewhere in Ontario in a phased process over the next decade or two. We imagine we'll be working through that schedule. And we think that there are lots of opportunities for additional reactor deployments in Canada. We are working with other provinces such as Saskatchewan. We're hopeful that they're going to announce in the next couple of months that they are going to go ahead with a small modular reactor project also. And we hope that they will pick the same design as we are and that we'll be able to work with them. We are also looking forward to working with Fermi Energia and other companies around the world to work with them and assist them in deployment of the BWRX 300 and new nuclear technology. We hope that at Ontario Power Generation and with the Canadian nuclear energy industry, we'll be able to work with you, and together we will deploy new nuclear power as a critical tool in fighting the climate change emergency. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robin. We have a couple of questions from the audience, but I think we only have time for one. So there's a question about how will you choose the construction firm that will work alongside you and GE Hitachi to build the Darlington SMR? Robin, can you hear me?
Yes.
But you didn't hear me before? Okay, I will ask one question again then. There was a question about the process and timeline of selecting a construction firm to work alongside you and GE Hitachi for the Darlington SMR project.
We expect to make an announcement about our constructor and architect engineering company in the next month or two. It's coming soon, but we're not quite there yet.
Okay, great. But thank you very much for your presentation and the work that OPG is doing, and we'll continue now with our conference.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here.